Welcome back, everybody, to Pinpoint Pictures. I'm your host, P, and this time around we're going to give you another 6 flicks that'll get you just right for the spooky season, which we call Halloween. And if you've been having trouble finding something to watch here, I got you covered. We're going to start this list off with The Void, a 2016 Lovecraftian horror written and directed by Stephen Kostanski and Jeremy Gillespie. The plot follows a small group of people who become trapped in a hospital by a gathering of hooded cultists and a group of grotesque creatures. Now, first off, I gotta let you know that this movie right here is weird and unsettling. It comes with that Lovecraftian vibe, so you know all the creatures that are in this movie is gonna be out of this world, like some you ain't seen. Kind of along the lines of, if you think of something kind of like the original Hellraiser, the way that some of this body horror in here, it gets down. And I just want you to know that it gets gnarly in here, but it's got great cinematography. It's dark and moody. It's really like gritty, but like I said, it's really gory. So if you can't really handle some of that, this might not be one for you, but there's something else on this list. You can find this movie on Tubi, Peacock, and Amazon Prime. Definitely give it a check out though, and let me know what you think.
You know where you go when you die. I do.
Up next on the list is Hellraiser. A young woman struggling with addiction comes into possession of the ancient puzzle box. Unaware of its purpose is to summon the Cenobites. Now, if you dig any of the other Hellraisers, then you won't be disappointed with this one. This keeps off that same exact mood, just an updated version with a different type of pinhead than what we know from the legendary Doug Bradley. But you ain't missing a beat right here. The story runs just as it needs to with a great pace. It keeps on with the tension of the characters and what's to become after they unlock that puzzle box and the type of decisions that they have to make. You know, because once you dealing with the Cenobites, they coming for something. So there's some type of deal that's got to be made. But there's excellent, Cenobite design here. A little bit of body horror, which is to be expected. Not as gory as you would think, but it still hits on the mark. Definitely perfect for a Halloween movie, something that you could pop in on the weekend. I definitely recommend it. You can find this on Hulu and Disney+.
It's time.
Next on the list, I got Hell House, the Carmichael Manor. A 2023 horror film directed by Stephen Cognati. A group of cold case investigators stay at the Carmichael Manor, site of the grisly and unsolved murders of the Carmichael family back in the 80s. After 4 nights, the group was never heard from again. What is discovered on their found footage is even more disturbing than anything found on the Hell House tape. When I watched this, it was almost one of my favorites, but 1 is definitely it. So I would almost put number 1, Hell House LLC, and then this one, and then we're going with 2 and 3. Of course, definitely 3 is the last, but Carmichael Manor is right up there with number 1. Perfect. I'm going to tell you, those clowns, they keep everything disturbing. They lead the tension in this movie. Definitely always keep that creepy vibe. The way that the ghosts of the Carmichael Manor appear and what they do to keep you spooked out definitely works well. Excellent pacing for this movie. Like I said, I definitely recommend this, and if anybody knows me, they know that every time Halloween comes around, that October month, I'm pulling out Hell House LLC because it's quickly became one of my favorites. So this is another one that I definitely recommend, and you can find this one on Shudder. Next, I got another Shudder. This one is called Oddity. A 2024 film written and directed by Damian McCarthy. After the brutal murder of her twin sister, Darcy goes after those responsible by using haunted items as her tools for revenge. Now I can tell you straight up, I really like this story. This one was spooky. It gave you definitely a little eerie vibe, like a kind of a ghost story, because her sister, Darcy is blind. Her sister lived in the house. Something happened to her. She comes back in order to try to figure out who's responsible, or who she thinks is responsible, because she's also got like some psychic abilities. So she pulls that out, and she also comes along to the house with this wooden like mannequin type of statue. and she uses that as a tool to, you know, travel, kind of like a medium type thing. And when you get to the nitty gritty of everything that's revealed, I mean, this is an excellent story. Definitely a great payoff in the end. I love the ending. It all makes sense of what's due to the actual person who's responsible for her sister's death. It's like what you had coming to you. And I definitely say you should check this one out. This one is on Shudder.
As I've always believed, there's nothing that can't be explained.
Next movie I'm going to tell you about, VHS Beyond. Now this is a new one, just dropped, about a week ago, 2024 release. Definitely an excellent movie that you should check out. 6 blood-curdling tapes unleash horror in a sci-fi inspired hellscape, pushing the boundaries of fear and suspense. This right here, to me, is one of the best of the series. I feel like all of the stories, they go in hand to hand with the wraparound. This is kind of the first more sci-fi that we've gone without horror. I think maybe 1 or 2 of the stories are like dead on the head with the horror, but they kind of lean more around the alien and scientific type things in this one. But they're still perfect because it comes with its own type of scares and definitely a lot of gore. You know how the VHS tapes get down if you're familiar with those. Like I said, this is probably one of the best of the series. I really like 1 and 2, and this one, 1985 also was a good one to me. But this one right here is definitely a good one for them to keep the series going. It keeps me kind of, you know, I want to see what they got coming next. I just hope that they make another one. So, you know, it definitely keeps you wanting more because the stories are perfect. They're just so weird and different, but that's what also makes them good in here, man. It's like I want to tell you about some of them, but I just want you to check them out for yourself and come back here and let me know which one of them was your favorite, because I've got my own favorite. I would definitely check it out. It's worth your while. This one is definitely on Shudder, so once again, go ahead and get you a membership and try out for a week. I think is the free. But go ahead and pay that money to get the membership. If you like horror, the payoff is within the first month because you're good. Trust me. Check it out. And last, but definitely not least, is one of my old school favorites. I always got to hit you with an old school favorite, something that I grew up on or something like that. So this one here is Sleep Stalker, the Sandman's Last Rites. The plot follows Griffin 17 years after the Sandman slaughters his family. Now the serial killer known as the Sandman is resurrected by a voodoo priest into a body made of sand. To keep his new body, he must track down and kill the one victim who escaped his slaughter 17 years ago. Now this is good because it's got a crazy little twist on why exactly the Sandman wants to go after Griffin and why he's been killing all these families. And this is one that I grew up on in 1995, like I said, so I was about 13 when I came up on this. Nothing too serious, nothing too scary, just a good old school horror flick of that genre to check out. And I mean, you'll peep this movie and see some faces that you're familiar with, that you've seen in things lately, or probably remember from back then. Let me know if you check this one out, or if you've already seen this from back then, if you remember, because it's kind of a rarity that I ever run into anyone that's ever heard of this one. But it's that good to me. It's near and dear to my heart, and I had to share it with y'all. I definitely want you to check it out. Like I said, it's on Tubi right now for free. You can always count on Tubi to have some old school hits. And you can buy it on Amazon Prime if you ever feel like doing that, if it becomes one of your favorites like it was mine. But definitely check it out. Now I want to say thank you for staying with me and peeping out this list that I just gave you. A decent watch list. If anything on here has struck your interest, definitely check it out. I've got a ton of movies that I could tell you about, trust me. And I'm going to get them to you. But if you like this, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. Check me out, stay tuned, because I'm going to have all type of things in store for you. But until the next time, this P for Pinpoint Pictures, I'm out.